Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Vicki Howie of ChakraBoosters.com, the creator of Chakra Boosters Healing Tattoos. And today, I'm coming to you from a suburb of London, UK, and it's surprisingly sunny. In fact, when I look up this way, I have to really squint. So I got lucky today, got some beautiful weather, and we today are going to start a new series. I thought it would be really fun for us to go over 3 goddesses that help us to embrace the energy of each chakra. And we're going to start with the root chakra. Now, these are not all the goddesses, okay, that could be for this chakra. So feel free to share your feelings about any other goddesses that you'd like to add. Also, I'm no expert on goddesses. I just love different aspects of life that help us to more deeply understand and embody our chakra energies. And I think the goddesses are so inspiring. They're larger than life and yet so human too. And they give us a tangible, like a human character, because their characters are very human in a certain way, that allows us to relate to how that energy might look in our lives. So in each of the chakras, especially the root, the lower chakras, we have a lot of different aspects to cover. So covering 3 different goddesses is really good because that will allow me to cover different aspects of the chakra. The root has a lot of aspects. It's our lowest, densest chakra, and it's related to this material world and therefore to our physical body, to manifestation, to the time that keeps us bound in this 3D world that doesn't exist in other dimensions, to family and friends and roots. Literally, the root chakra is related to our roots, to our ancestry, right? So family and home and our lineage and our roots and ancestry, our personal history, our memory, our organization, our foundation, our financial stability, and anything that gives us safety and security. Some would say survival. I'm not as much into the survivalistic aspect of it in this day and age, but it is about our basic stability in life, our ability to be safe and to have our basic needs met. So who are our 3 goddesses here? Can you think of any that come up for you? The first goddess that I'm going to bring up is Vesta. Vesta is a Roman goddess, or she was a Roman goddess, but I guess once a goddess, always a goddess. She also has a counterpart that's Greek, which is Hestia. I'm going to talk about Vesta, but Hestia and Vesta are pretty much mirrors of the same goddess. And this is a goddess of hearth, home, and family. In the Roman tradition, Vesta was revered. Each of the Roman homes would have a hearth they would need to keep lit. And it was Vesta was the one that honored keeping that lit. But there was a special place in the town where they would honor Vesta. And Vesta, there would be these Vestal, they called them Vestal virgins, would be women that at the time of their service to keeping the hearth going in this temple, they would be virgins. They would have chastity vows, and there was dire consequences if they didn't stay that way. But the point I want to make out here is that the part of you, it's very root chakra to keep the home fires burning, to keep the back in the day when that was everything, that was the source of energy, when fire was, it was even more important. It'd be so difficult to have to relight and restart things, so keeping fires burning was quite literal. And the hearth, the fire, was the place around, the warm area around which a family would unite. So I think the home and family and hearth area of the root chakra is represented by Vesta, and what she's asking you in regard to root chakra is, are you living in a home environment, in an environment that feels like home to you? If not, what would feel more homey to you? Or can you feng shui or do something in your home or move that makes you feel like it's more your home? So you have these different options, right? Just to sort of change what's going on in your home now, or literally change the home. Do the energetics where you live fit you? Do the dynamics in your family and what you bring to your family unit, do those feel healing? Do they feel grounding? Do they feel home-like? Does it give you more stability in the world? Because that's what the root chakra is all about. So those are the questions Vesta would have you look at. And also, are there central points in your family or in your home for family to meet? Are there central points? Are you meeting with family? Because in this day and age, we aren't necessarily living with the collective family. So do you have reunions? Is there a metaphorical hearth, a place where you can meet, family reunions or family vacations? And are you honoring that? And then we also have, just ancestry too. Are you honoring your ancestors? Are you remembering them? Perhaps on the Day of the Dead or on their birthdays. Are you remembering them? Are you carrying on their traditions? Are you honoring that in your family? That's all I can say about that. So that is Vesta and Hestia. So the next goddess I want to bring up is, and it's funny because now the light is completely going away, and the next goddess is Kali. And Kali is generally depicted as a very dark goddess. She is about not being fooled by this earthly world, but not being afraid of it. So she's the goddess of breaking illusion, and she's the goddess that brings rebirth through death. So as the cloud totally covers the light here, that is what Kali is about. And she actually brings birth through death. So Kali invites you to look at, what is your relationship with death, with this physical world? Her name literally means force in time. It's about time, being time bound. So she's about this 3D reality where I believe that the bounds, or I guess you'd say the bonds, the bonds of time are causing, it's also the boundaries of time, are causing us to be more soulful. They can take us out of illusion to remind us that this is it. This is not a rehearsal. This is life. This is big. It's short-lived in the big picture, that we all will, in our physical body, pass back to dust, back to earth. It's not always the happiest memory, right, or remembrance thing to keep telling yourself, but it actually makes everything more soulful while keeping us connected with this physical body. Because yes, we are a soul. I'm a soul. You're a soul. We're spiritual. You maybe have been here many lifetimes, and so you will live on after this body dies. But Kali's a reminder also of this 3D world, the preciousness of the physical reality, without getting lost in the deceptions of it, the thinking that this is all there is. So she severs the heads. You know, she's wearing the skull head or the baby skull heads, and she carries a sword, and she carries usually a sickle, and she has one skull and a bowl where she can collect blood. Now, blood is the color of the root chakra, and the root chakra is all about blood, life blood, family ancestry blood. Yeah, it's like literally almost think of earth blood. And it's very much about all these things, time bound, physically bound, all these apparent limitations that we have. How can we cut off the head, which is all the thinking, the ego part, and be in the true death cycle to allow ourselves, because really we're always going into process as spiritual beings in this physical reality. When we don't forget that we're spiritual beings, we go through constant rebirth. But Kali is this aspect, she's this feeling of, and she's like Durga might be included here too. Durga's lighter than Kali, but all of it's about this time-bound reality, and about death, and about not being frightened of death. Kali slays, like death itself practically. She slays demons. She doesn't slay death because she actually uses death as a liberator. Can you feel that? She says, okay, when you die, then the fear goes away, and you see that there is never really death, right? But only of this physical, only of perhaps the ego. but not of the everlasting immortal spirit. Anyway, there's a fierceness in the root chakra. The root chakra is all about what's raw and natural and connected to earth. It's like living in that most primal way. And of all the goddesses, Kali, for me, has that primal energy. But she's using the primal energy to remind us that we are spirit, that everything that dies turns into something and is reborn. So it's pretty amazing what Kali does. And she's not afraid of anything. And she doesn't worry about image. She has a necklace of like baby heads or whatever that even you know, the most thing that we see most innocent can be cut off. And that's to just show that life itself is innocent, in my opinion. Life itself, when we get out of a judgment brain, whatever happens, happens. So a lot of root chakra energy is about, can we accept what happens in the physical world and work with it? Okay? Can we celebrate deaths, mini deaths, cycles, and allow them to be rebirths? And can we honor the fierce darkness of the decay that happens here on this planet in a way that allows us to realize we are beyond it. We are both part of it and we are beyond it. We are going to live beyond it. And at the same time, we're on a dance right now to really, really appreciate it and to not get lost in the deception of being ego-bound or physically time-bound. Okay, using it to our benefit. So look up pictures of Kali if you like. She's fantastic. Kali usually has 4 hands as well in her most common depiction, and 4 again is the number of foundation, which is like the root chakra, the foundation, the earth. So, and Kali is typically black, whereas the last goddess that I want to go to, Lakshmi, is usually red. And red is the primary color of the root chakra and black is the secondary color of the root. And all of the earth colors like brown and decaying colors would be the colors of the root chakra, because the root chakra is about this physical existence, the earth and everything even below the earth. Can you just feel that energy? That's a heavy, dense, powerful energy that can only be liberated by higher energies of understanding that we always have divinity in us. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. So I can't have 3 goddesses for the root chakra without having one be about wealth, because the root chakra isn't about extreme wealth, although it can be. When we start to get up into the throat chakra, we start to get into really big wealth because we're serving our purpose in the world. But the root is always about financial stability, and it's usually about familial wealth. Wherever you see like money handed down, old wealth, that's definitely root chakra. Well, Lakshmi is about abundance and wealth and good fortune. So she's really the one to protect us in this physical world when it comes to having it be lighter, easier, more stable, more enjoyable. And so I'm putting her here for the wealth aspect, because she reminds us that, you know, she's typically wearing red, sometimes not. She has 2 elephants who are often serving her, you know, pouring the water, or sometimes people depict the coins around her. And these elephants, the elephant is, I believe, the primary animal symbol for the root chakra. So that in itself is also saying, here's your goddess of manifestation. I just feel like I'm her right now. I'm just holding it and just letting you imagine as the sun shines on me here where it rarely shines, that we're here to experience spiritual abundance. And everything we see is made up of spirit. So wealth, material abundance, is divinity as well. And when it's used and earned and received in great consciousness, it's the highest divine. Feel into that and bring Lakshmi's energy into your life. She will help you be more abundant. You'll see this. So let's go through the goddesses again. Lakshmi for the wealth, physical and material stability aspect, having this financial stability, or even this beyond stability, but at the least stability, and then beyond that, like not only no money worries, but extra and a joyous energy around that. Feel that. That's Lakshmi. Or Lakshmi. If you say it more correctly, it's Lakshmi. That's my American accent, Lakshmi. So that's Lakshmi. And then we have, again, we're going to do Kali is where we deal with the darkest, because the shadow world and the underworld and just the deepest parts, I mean, death itself, and us, even the fact that we often bury the dead, or we cremate the dead and spread their ashes back on the earth. We're going back to the earth, and Kali reminds us that death is a liberator, and she reminds us to be aware of our spirituality and the strength and power, and when we're not afraid of this physical world, when we can slay the demons, we can live more of our divinity here on earth. And she's just unafraid. Can you feel her? She's badass. And she wears black, and she holds that earthy energy. And then finally, Vesta was the one we started with, and she's for hearth and home and family. Just think about your family. How is your home? How is your, all of that. Is that good? Is that good with you? And I'm not sure if I gave the questions actually for Kali. Did I give you questions for Kali? Because the questions around Kali would be, or for Lakshmi, the questions for Kali would be, am I banishing my fears? Am I facing my fears? Am I remembering that I am unlimited even as I play this game of being in a time space? Am I willing to literally not only let some part of my life die, but actually knock it down myself? Am I willing to destroy it because I know that it's false, it's not true to me, or it's the old me? These are questions you can ask around Kali, right? Do I have that kind of bravery? And then finally, for Lakshmi, you can ask yourself, am I able to receive? Am I trusting in the physical world and the universe in providing for me? And it's not the physical world that's providing, but am I really trusting in the divine to provide physically for me? Do you feel that? Like the divine energies to provide for me in this physical realm. Also, am I in gratitude? Lakshmi is a question of, am I in thankfulness? Because thankfulness brings thankfulness, right? It brings more and more. It brings more to be thankful for. Thankfulness just brings more prosperity, more joy. So feel into that. And enjoy these 3 root chakra goddesses, because feeling into their natures actually makes you more root chakra. It strengthens your root chakra. Those are our root goddesses. On the next video, we'll look at sacral chakra goddesses. But until then, I hope that you will play with these goddesses. Do you need to shift anything at home, or around your family, or being around family more, or literally where you live, or how your family gathers in your home, or how you communicate? Do you need to change your attitudes around letting old things die in your life, letting them go, knocking down old jobs or old relationships or old anything that isn't serving you any longer? Bow to Kali for that and be fierce and be strong. And are you looking at your fears and not allowing them to limit what you do in this world? Slay those fears, slay those demons. And then finally, are you also willing to receive? Are you opening to receiving fully? Are you actually trusting the universe? And are you grateful for all the material things that are already in your life? Because the more grateful you are, the more that energy just appreciates, right? Just like money appreciating, and you end up with more to appreciate. So next week, we're going to look at, like I said, at the sacral goddesses. Until then, enjoy the root goddesses and have yourself a beautiful week.